You know, in the world of procurement, one tiny ethical misstep can have a massive domino effect. We're not just talking fines, we're talking about trust that takes years to build, gone in an instant. That's why today, we're going to break down the CIPS Code of Conduct. It's basically the global blueprint for keeping supply chains ethical and businesses on the right track.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into why ethics and procurement are such a big deal. Then, we'll unpack the 5 core principles of the code itself. After that, we'll see what it looks like in the real world, and finally, we'll connect the dots to see how it all helps build a real culture of integrity inside a company.
All right, first things first, let's really dig into why this topic is so critical. To get it, you have to understand just how high the stakes are when you're managing procurement and supply. This question really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? Because procurement isn't just about haggling over prices. Not at all. It's really about building solid relationships, protecting your company's good name, and heading off potentially huge risks. And as you're about to see, ethics are the foundation for, well, all of it.
The simple answer? Absolutely everything. See, a lack of ethics isn't some small HR issue. Oh no, it can set off a total chain reaction. We're talking fraud, corruption, and damage to a company's brand that can be incredibly hard, if not impossible, to come back from.
So, to protect against all that chaos, the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, you probably know them as CIPS, created a global standard. It's a code of conduct that professionals all over the world are expected to live by.
And CIPS puts it right out there. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a real commitment. The code lays out a clear universal framework for how to act ethically. This means a procurement pro in London is held to the exact same high standard as one in Singapore or New York. It creates a level playing field.
Okay, what's really cool is how this whole code is built. It stands on 5 solid principles. Think of them like the pillars holding up a huge, important building, the building of ethical procurement.
These 5 pillars are basically the North Star for every decision someone in procurement has to make. They touch on everything: your personal integrity, your duty to the profession, actively fighting against shady practices, always getting better at your job, and, of course, playing by the rules. Let's look at each one a little closer.
So the first principle is the bedrock, integrity. Plain and simple, this means you reject any kind of improper business practice. You're open and honest about any conflicts of interest, and you're always truthful about what you can and can't do.
The second one is all about looking out for the reputation of the profession as a whole. You never do anything that would make procurement look bad. A classic example is turning down that overly generous gift from a supplier that might look like a bribe, even if it's not meant to be. It's about perception.
Now, this third principle is really proactive. It's not enough to just be ethical yourself. CIPS members are actually expected to be on the lookout for things like fraud, corruption, or even modern slavery, and then take action to stamp it out of their supply chains.
Fourth is all about personal growth. It's a promise to yourself and your profession to never stop learning. You have to keep honing your skills and knowledge, because when you get better, the whole profession gets a little bit stronger.
And the 5th principle? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You have to follow the rules, all of them. That means sticking to every law, every regulation, and every contract in every single country where you do business. No exceptions.
Okay, so that's all great in theory, but what does it actually look like day to day? Let's walk through a couple of quick scenarios to really see this code in action.
Here we go, a perfect real-world example of that integrity principle. Imagine you're evaluating bids and you realize you have a personal connection to one of the companies. By speaking up and disclosing that, you're making sure the process is totally transparent and fair for every single supplier. That's integrity.
Now, let's look at the flip side. A total breach of the code. A manager's decision is influenced by a gift. In that one moment, they've compromised their integrity, they've put a black mark on their company's reputation, and they've completely wrecked the fairness of the whole process.
The difference is just night and day, isn't it? When you're compliant and ethical, you build trust. You build strong, lasting partnerships. But when you're not, you just chip away at that trust, you break relationships, and you open up your business to all kinds of serious risks.
And that really brings us to the big picture here, because the CIPS code isn't just a rulebook for individuals to memorize. It's actually a powerful tool for building better organizations, ones that are more transparent, more ethical, and way more resilient.
You could almost think of the CIPS code as being like an immune system for a company's corporate governance. It promotes transparency, it helps fight off unethical behavior before it can take hold, and it shields the company from legal trouble. All of that is absolutely essential for a healthy business.
But listen, a code of conduct is really only as good as the culture that supports it, right? To make these principles stick, a company has to do more than just email a PDF around. It takes real leadership, ongoing training, and a genuine company-wide belief in doing things the right way.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Is a code like this the starting line or the finish line when it comes to building an ethical business? The truth is, it's kind of both. It gives you the roadmap, which is essential, but it's up to every single person, every single day, to actually walk that path with integrity.